What's up, and welcome to the channel. My name is Headshot, and thank you guys for joining us for a very different kind of video than what we normally do here. If you are not familiar with our channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Normally we do gun reviews and concealed carry videos, and today I just want to share another passion of mine, something I haven't done in a long time, and I'm finally back on two wheels again, and just want to share this with you for my loyal and awesome followers of the channel. If you guys don't enjoy videos like this, don't worry, we're not getting away from gun reviews. Like I said, I just want to share something else with you guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it, because it's something I enjoy. And I put something out on my Facebook page about riding motorcycles again, and had a pretty decent response from it. So just let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But what are we talking about today? We are talking about why the Iron 883 was my comeback to riding motorcycle. I'll tell you a little bit about my history, and then I'll tell you why this bike in particular is my first one in 10 years. First of all, my riding history, it's short and sweet, baby. 2006 is when I bought my first bike. It was a Ninja 500. And it was a decent little bike, but within a month and a half I had already upgraded to the Ninja 650. Rode for about a year and a half, and we were about to have our first son, and something had to go, and unfortunately the bike was that something. Fast forward 10 years later, here we are, much better financial situation, a lot more mature, at least I think. You know, and just a better situation for me personally, to be able to ride again. Now, one thing I stayed very consistent on throughout this past 10 years, anytime Mrs. Headshot or the conversation would come up about motorcycles, I always told her I will have another one, but next time I think I'll get a cruiser. And that's what I did. This is a 2017 Iron 883. The big question is why this bike in particular? First, let's talk about the issue we all have, is money. You know, if money wasn't an issue, we would have any and everything we wanted. These bikes are under 10 grand brand new. All right, now this one has ABS, and after 3 weeks of going back and forth with my local dealer, I was able to get this thing under 9 grand. Let me just say that, brand new. Now they are trying to get the 18s in, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, but I thought I did really good as far as the price and the deal I was able to get on this bike. So it kept my payments where I needed them to be. That's first and foremost. Now there are some other options that are about around the same money. Yamaha Bolt, Indian Scout 60, which was probably my second favorite option. The biggest thing that killed it for me on the Indian was the forward controls. I'm not a fan of those, not very comfortable with it. So I really wanted an American-made bike, and this was my next best option for sure. Really, your only other option is a Harley or the Indian. So both of those bikes were nice, but like I said, American-made, and the price. Let's go ahead and talk about the looks of this bike. First of all, I'm not a fan of chrome on pretty much anything. This bike kind of stood out to me as the anti-chrome, go against the grain type of bike, and it just really stood out to me because of that. I love the black everything, from the pipes to the frame to the bars to everything. I love that it's blacked out. Really stands out. So the look and the price, also the displacement. I would like to say I learned my lesson from before in getting a bike that was too small. Now, I am a big fan of starting out on something that you can actually handle and not trying to go too big on your first bike. I get all that, and I'm definitely for that. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I felt like I could grow into this bike. It's, you know, it's definitely bigger than the 500 and the 750, which I felt like I would have grown out of. Not really a fan of the looks of the bikes either. They don't really have a Harley, you know, sound to them. That's just my opinion. I just not a fan of. And I was honest enough to know that the 1200 was just too much bike for me, especially after being off of two wheels for 10 years. Just too much. So this gives me a nice balance in between being able to grow into the bike. It's nimble enough where I can learn, you know, to ride the right way on it, and, you know, and I can also grow into it. You know, it's not a bike that I feel like I will outgrow very quickly. Now, I already have some, you know, minor concerns. I'm actually heading to the Harley dealer right now for a couple of them. For whatever reason, the rear brakes on this thing squeak, and they've been doing it since I got the bike. And, you know, I kind of figured they would break themselves in, but they haven't. And also, whenever I'm going, you know, 55 to 60, anytime above 60, the bike does not hold a very good line. And I don't know if it's the roads that I'm riding or just the bike in general. Maybe the tires or something need to be balanced, but you can hear that squeaking right there. It's just not as stable as I think it should be. So I'm gonna take it to them. They did get this bike from another local dealership, so maybe it wasn't taken care of as good. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyways, they're gonna check it out for me. Anyways, so I feel like it's something I can grow into, you know, and I can have fun with for a while and learn to ride the right way. I never took the MSF, and that's something I plan on doing whenever I can get some more funds up, because it is pretty expensive, but I believe that it is probably definitely, most definitely worth the money. There's some other things as well. You know, you're able to customize these bikes because they've been out for so long, and they have that kind of old school look to them, yet also being new and refined. I don't know, I just really dig the way, you know, you don't have an air cooler or you don't have an oil cooler or anything like that. You got this air cleaner right here. It's just overall great. Also, one of the reasons I got into motorcycling is because I got a pretty long commute to work, and I'm hoping that I can save some gas for sure. I know I'll be able to save some gas by riding the motorcycle, you know, as opposed to my truck all the time. Now, this being a cruiser, it does just what I want it to do. I don't want to go 100 miles an hour anymore. I don't want to go 110 miles an hour anymore on a motorcycle. That part of me is done. That's kind of where I talk about the maturity a little bit. I just want to ride. I just want to get from point A to point B, get home safely to my family, and just have a good time doing it. That's it. So this bike kind of keeps me in those limitations. I know it can, you know, it could probably get up there, but it ain't for, it's definitely not for speed. It's just for literally cruising and you know, having a good time. And probably the last reason for me going with the Iron 883, I love being on two wheels. It's so much fun, and it's just the experience of it. It's so much different than just driving. You know, you kind of get complacent whenever you drive. You just, you know, in a car, it just, there's not a lot of excitement, you know. I mean, sometimes it can be fun driving in a car depending on what you drive, but it's, you know, point A to point B type of driving. It's just, it gets a little boring. On a motorcycle, it's never boring. I love driving, I love riding, and all it took for me to get the bug, one of my friends that I work with, he brought in his motorcycle one day, and I didn't even know he rode motorcycles. And he brought it up, and I was like, "Oh man, you know, you ride motorcycles?" And I told him I used to ride and all that. And he let me drive it around the parking lot, and that's all it took for me to get the bug. So it's something that just kind of sticks with you, I guess. And you know, a month later after I'm doing that, I bought another bike. So sometimes it takes a little bit of a friend's help, but so that's it. That is the reason the Iron 883 was my comeback to riding motorcycle. If you guys have a particular bike that brought you back to motorcycles, leave us a comment down below. If you are into guns, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That is our main area of expertise, I guess you can say, here on YouTube. And if you guys like the motorcycle videos, drop us a like and let us know what you thought. We will see you guys in the next one, and as always, hold them down.